So white evangelicals and white evangelical circles, and how do we get them unstuck, or how do they become unstuck on these issues, because it doesn't seem like they're engaging. The interesting thing is, if we asked your friends about human trafficking, they could go on and on and on and on. They've watched documentaries, they've read books, they've volunteered for organizations, they've even seen the Hollywood movies with Liam Neeson, but they could talk very specifically to it. So it's not that they aren't getting out of their circle to deal with injustice and to empathize with the other. It's that they're being selective. And so the question is, why are they not selecting race as something to try to understand, yet they're selecting these other things? And the answer to that is really comfortability. Race in America is a little too close to home. It's very uncomfortable. Sex trafficking in Southeast Asia, a lot more comfortable, And so race in America is more complicated. It feels sometimes more intractable. And then it also begins to hit into politics. And so some of them have grown up with political values that would say, if you only work hard, then you can get yourself out of this fix. You're only in that fix because you don't work hard. That this isn't the case, that isn't the case. Sometimes people have grown up socialized in communities that affix blame to people of color or to racial issues. And so it begins to get really complicated and very uncomfortable. Man, I'm having to question political views, basic assumptions. I'm having to spend time in environments where I'm not a hero that's coming in to fix the global trafficking thing. I'm coming in as a very naive white person that's in some sense a part of the system and a part of the problem with regard to race in America. And that feels a lot less fun, a lot less comfortable. And it's remedial. I'm starting from scratch. Nobody's looking at me like I get to be the teacher here. Which is why with this book, I have to be very careful with that book not to say I've got a vision for race in America. I've never even experienced profiling. Closest I came was the Tel Aviv airport leaving Israel because I looked just Palestinian enough, That's the closest I've ever come to profiling, right? So I can't write honestly or sincerely a book on race. I can write a book on privilege. Or I can write a book saying, here's how I've come to understand the subject more deeply, and maybe this is a bit of a pathway that would help you. But I think that awkward thing of we don't get to come in as leaders. White evangelicals are used to being able to come in as the leader, as the person in the room with power, as the person in the room with voice, being able to come in with a lot of confidence, being able to come, you know what I mean? And all that kind of gets lost when we come into a room and sit in this race conversation. It's really uncomfortable. So I think it's beginning to help people say, why would you do this but not do this? And you see a disconnect. And, there's ways that you can begin to move into this. And yes, you're going to feel uncomfortable, but that's okay. But that's a little about what I think is going on at the heart of it.